Welcome to the Social Chameleon Show, where our goal is to help you learn, transform, and into the person you want to become. For past episodes and links to everything we talk about here, you can visit socialchameleon.show. On this episode, we're talking about daily habits and routines.
Not the nun habits.
Not the nun habits. But if you're a nun, then hey, more power to you, I guess.
Your other type of habit.
Yes. Ones we don't want to address.
Yeah, but I mean, life in general is just kind of, I think we are creatures of habit. So in general, we are the things that we daily, that we do on a daily basis, our regular routines, right? The rhythm of our day and all of our habits.
Yeah.
And just kind of want to bring that to people's attention in today's show. And hopefully after we go through some of this, the ideas and key points are that we can identify some of the habits that a lot of people have and, kind of make an assessment to see, are those habits yielding the results that we want?
Right.
And then possibly if we can change them or move in a different direction.
And at least start to identify them and then start the process of changing them. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And I just, before we get started, I kind of want to make a caveat about results. I know Tyson and I got into it earlier about, people's goals and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go that far down the rabbit hole. I just want to keep in mind that the results that we're looking for, we're not looking for like 1,000% better, return on the habits that you have. We just want to start by just improving just a little bit. Maybe that 5, maybe that 10%, 1%, if that's all you got. We're talking about the tortoise here, not necessarily the hare. And then we're also talking about, sometimes you got to focus on like having a better why, right? Sometimes the final end result of your habit, like if you want to make $1 million, like sometimes that's a little shallow.
Yeah.
$1 million, if you don't truly need $1 million, because most people I think need maybe $60,000, $70,000 a year, and they'll at least get by. They're going to have enough for food, shelter. That's all you really need. So, sometimes it's finding a better why as to reason. And we'll get to that when we talk about changing habits. But I just kind of want to add that caveat in there. You got anything to add on to that, Tice?
No, I mean, definitely not. I mean, just think, I know it's easy to get stuck in this fallacy and this mindset and this paradisical mindset of, oh, I'm just going to change this and I'm going to be this. But first of all, the odds of that happening is astronomical, next to zero. And a lot of times when things like that happen, it's because of a near-death experience or something like that. And don't go out looking for those. But just think, if you change just 1% a week, that's 52% gain over a year. That's monumental, But even let's take it back down one more. If you just changed 1% a month, it's a 12% gain.
Yeah.
People bleed and sweat and do everything for a 12% gain in many areas of life.
Yeah.
So don't look at it and say, oh, 1%, I can do better. Maybe you can, but if you're just getting that 1%, understand the compounded growth that's potentially there.
Right. And, we're not, we're talking about habits here. This is stuff you do on a regular everyday basis. You know what I mean? Like, and just stuff like getting a cup of coffee.
Right.
I mean, like that's a habit.
Right. Some people cannot start their day or cannot function, air quotes, without that cup of coffee.
Right. They have that mug, right? It's right, until the coffee hits this level, like, don't talk to me.
Do not talk to me. My brain can't function, whatever the different funny little things that they come up with. But yeah, I mean, and a lot of that, there's some chemical things to that or whatever, sure. But a lot of that's mental,
Yeah, it's a psychological thing. It's something that you do every day.
Yep.
And just like anything that you do every day, whether it's coffee or whether you brush your teeth in the morning or, whether you grab your keys for your car to go to work. Like, I mean, you ain't got your keys to go to work. You ain't got your key to your car. You're not going to get to work. You got to go back in the house and get it.
You ain't getting very far.
You know what I mean? I mean, but that's a little bit more realistic answer. However, but those things are all part of your day.
Yes.
Coffee, You know what I mean? Soda for a lot of people. Like I'm guilty of that, dude. I drink so much soda. It's ridiculous. Like I shouldn't have that. You know, but those are like the bad habits, and just talking about the small percentages, you know, the 1 to 5% of things, you know, you got 5 sodas a day, 365 days a year. That's a lot of soda.
That's
a lot of sugar. That's not, you know, I mean, it's okay to binge every now and then, but at the same time, you shouldn't be doing that on a regular basis.
Right.
You know, that over a lifetime, right? That's just one time a year. You're going to repeat that process for 10, 20, 30 years down the road, right? Same thing with smoking, because I'm in the healthcare industry, talking about COPD. Yeah, one cigarette not going to kill you.
Yeah.
But pack a day,
right,
for 30 years, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the thing that I think we fail to realize is we don't see these immediate consequences or immediate effects, but they're compounded over daily, weekly, yearly, decade-long, consumption and repeated things. We're sometimes it's hard to look down in the future and say, well, is this soda I have every day, is this really going to do me any harm? I've been fine all these years. One day that stuff's going to wind up catching up with you.
Yeah, for sure. And again, and that's what this show is about. It's about your daily routines in life, your daily habits, the things that you do habitually. And some of these things, like, we don't even create them. It's just something that started a long time ago, like coffee. It's like, right. I work the night shift, so I need coffee to stay awake. And you start drinking it, it's like, yeah, this coffee helps. And then like 5 years into your career, it's like, yeah.
Why do you drink coffee?
It's like, oh, because I need it. Everybody asks me, like, I'm going in for the graveyard shift tonight. Like, you don't drink coffee? I was like, no, I never started that.
Right.
So I never had to keep that up,
Right.
But that's just, again, these are just patterns in life that people do. Mm-hmm. We get involved with them. Mm-hmm. And like Tyson was saying earlier, things like coffee or things like alcohol or, other type of drugs per se, right? Or off-label use of medication, whatever you want to call it. Getting all the medical terms out there, like, there is a chemical effect, right? We do have chemoreceptors in our body that respond to it. Mm-hmm. However, there's also, a social aspect to it too, right? Like people you're around while you're doing these things, right? Or if you relate coffee to going to work, like, there's a social element to that too.
Yeah. Even a lot of times they're not even your habits. They were your parents' habits that were just passed on to you. You don't even know why you do them. Why do you put your pant on with your right leg first? You know why? Because when you're putting your pants on, your parents are like, no, other leg. Now that's your habit. You put it on with your right leg. But, these are the habits you've created.
But you're right, though. Just the simple everyday things that you don't think, It's like a lot of people do this. They write with their right hand.
Yeah.
Even if they were left-handed, when we were growing up, if you were left-handed, that was a no-no.
Right. Yeah. No. Wrong hand.
It's something like your parents would like slap your hand, and it's even though the left hand is dominant, you still learn how to write with your right hand because that's proper. Like, that's the right thing to do. Right.
Yeah. And then a lot of things, most of the world is made for right-handed people. So looking out for your best interest, air quotes, they wanted you to do everything with your right hand. So you had a better, easier time navigating the world.
Right. Even though necessarily that truly wasn't what's best for you.
Right.
But in essence, that's supposed to help you get along with society better. So, you gotta weigh and argue the facts of that.
Yeah.
However, again, these are things that, true to your nature, if you're a left-handed person, writing with your right hand puts you at a huge deficit.
Right. Yeah.
And that's again, these habits that build up over time. Hopefully, you get more comfortable writing with your offhand.
And it's actually a really good exercise to pick a small little phrase or a sentence or something and write it with your left hand. It actually it's like one of those little pattern interrupts, and it kind of retrains your brain to think about things a little differently.
Yeah. But I'm just saying though, like, we're talking about habits in general that get started for whatever that reason might be. Maybe it is something initially that helps you, like coffee,
right.
And sometimes it's something like Tyson said, your parents started for you, or, for a certain time, right? When you went to school, these habits helped you, right? But when you get to the real world, like, stuff like not cheating on tests.
Yeah.
You have to take the test by yourself, and you have to get the A and earn it yourself. Like that's relevant for school, but when it comes down to real life, like, you know, you need help. You've got to go seek help and get a team of members and do things as a team. That's going to get you the best result.
Yeah, it's called collaboration.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just, but it just comes down to a lot of things. But like, just look at financially. Like, what do you spend your money on financially that you're not even aware of? Yeah.
Or even what are your habits and thoughts and routines about money, which is probably passed on from your parents.
Yeah. You know, other things you got to think about, like, what do you feel on a regular, everyday basis? You know, do you wake up in the morning thinking it's a crappy day? You know what I mean? Is that a habit that you created over time?
Yeah.
You know, I know we did the math earlier. Most people, they hate Monday through Friday.
Right.
They're stuck at a job they don't like. But you do the math, right? You take 2 divided by 5, that gives you 28%.
Yeah. Oof.
28%. So you're taking that, the other 2, the 72%, which is the 5 days out of the week that you hate going to work because you hate that job. You know, my dad was just watching, we're just watching Office Space last night. You know, they got that boss. He's like, yeah, we're going to need you to come in on Saturday. And, about those TPS reports. Like, you still haven't done them yet. I'm going to need you to do that too. Like, it's like, what
about my stapler?
It's like the classic movie, dude. Like, people hate their job, like 9 to 5. You know?
Yep. And that goes back to, like we talked about before, when we talk about, you know, being an obliger. You know, a lot of times you're just like, fuck, you know, and you feel that like, well, this is now an expectation of me. I've got to work on Saturdays. Or, you know, we were coming in early for a few weeks to work on a project. Now I feel like I've got to come in at 7 every morning instead of 9 like we're supposed to. You know, you create these habits and expectations.
Right. And so initially that coming in early was only for that project. It's like once the project is complete, like, have you ever thought about, just asking your boss, like, you know, the project's done, I can come back in my regular time. Who knows? Your boss might be like, I was kind of wondering why you kept coming in early for those past 2 weeks. Like,
I was like, what a high achiever you are.
You know? But I mean, it just kind of works. But I mean, you got to think about that. You know what I mean? That Monday through Friday, that's 72% of your life. You know what I mean? 72% of your life you hate. Like, that's a bad habit. Like, you gotta look into that. You gotta cycle that out. Like, you know, is there something you can do to change that? You know, again, talking about these percentages, changing 72 to 70%, that's a good number to start. You know what I mean? That's a great number to start. Like, hey, get that down to 70. Hey, get that down to 60%. You know what I mean? 12% a year. If you can hate 60% of your life and enjoy the other 40%, like, that's better than 72, 28.
Yeah. Could you imagine how much better you would feel if your life was 12% less shitty? It doesn't sound like much, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that's having like a good dinner with your family every night. That's a 10% change. That's simple.
You know, and then the other things that people do, right, especially when it comes to things like finance and comes to lifestyle, is like those 2 days, right? They're trying to capitalize on that 28%, right? Those are the 28% of your life that you actually enjoy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like you're overspending money to amplify that 28%. Like that.
Even if you're overspending, maybe you're over making that money.
I mean,
a great 28%.
Right. It's like you go to this job that you hate so you can, you know, buy a Lamborghini.
Right. Or get that Gucci purse.
Or, you know, it's like, is that really making that 28% of your life that much better?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's the kind of thing that when they say, right, you're majoring in minor things. You're trying to make that 28% of your life, those 2 days off that you have, so much better, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to go on that vacation that you go on once a year, like you work so hard for. Right. Like, you hate every minute going to work just so you can have 1 week.
Yeah.
Out of the year.
And it's such a small percentage of your life. You know, you're not those that doesn't account for much. Maybe, what is that? 0.1% of your whole year. You're looking forward to this so important thing versus you're missing these other daily things that much more compounding effects on your life.
Yeah. So like if you can improve that 72%, right? If you can learn to enjoy that 72%, and you know, some people are lucky, they're fortunate, they go to a job that they like, or I mean, the people that they work with are great. You know what I mean? Like those types of people, I think, win. Those are the people that they don't need to go on these extravagant vacations or buy or spend extravagant amount of money. It's because they don't hate 72% of their life.
Right.
They go to a job and they only hate like 30% of their job, and that's it. You know, it's like the rest of the numbers are flipped. They enjoy 72% of their life and they hate 28%.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? Like if you can make that switch, you know what I mean? And like just doing like the little things. I'm not saying that switch is going to happen. You got to remember, like this is going to happen over time.
Yes.
There are a lot of people where there are habits that are ingrained in them that they can never change. You know, like smoking is a big one. You know, ever try to get somebody to stop smoking? No?
Oh, yeah.
You try to get an alcoholic to stop drinking?
Yeah.
Like, again, it comes back to there's a chemical reaction, there's a physiological connection to it, there's a social aspect to it. Like some people can't break these things overnight.
And if your why isn't strong enough, you're not even gonna, you know, follow through these habit changes either.
You know, so it's just the things that you got to work on are trying to create good habits, right? So that you can enjoy those 72% of your life that you hate.
Right.
You know, and those are the kind of things that in the long run, if you can do that, that's the part where you're going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just when we were doing the math on that, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Dang.
72% of your life you hate.
You hate. Like, I just can't. I mean, I can't imagine hating. I mean, there's a good percentage of stuff I don't like, but
yeah. I mean, it's not like that for everybody. You don't hate. You don't hate every hour of Monday through Friday.
Right.
But I mean, when you wake up in the morning, you're suffering because you're thinking about it. It's like, damn, I gotta get ready for work. Gotta get ready for work.
Or even when the alarm goes off, right? You're like, fuck, there. I get up now. Go to work.
But again, that's a habit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can change that, you know, and I forget what Tony Robbins program I was on when I did it for him. He's like, he suggested when you wake up, right, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed, you spring up out of bed, put on your shoes, and go outside and start walking.
Right.
I mean, and from there we're walking. Like he has this thing where you go through a breathing pattern to kind of this little pattern interrupt. We'll talk about that later on when we talk about changing habits. But you go outside, you walk, and you start thinking about all the things that you're grateful for. I mean, don't focus on, oh, I got to go to work and, you know what I mean? The 72% that you hate, like start
DPS report I got to do.
You know, don't think about those things when you first wake up.
Yeah.
Think about all the things that you're grateful for.
Yeah. Even keep your phone off when you first wake up as well.
Well, I mean, the idea is to just put good things, right? Be careful of the social media that you read when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
You know?
As soon as you wake up, most people when they wake up in the morning, they grab their phone and look at their phone. It's like all these other people's, you know, agendas for you, and you don't want to start your morning in that space.
But the whole idea is to like be grateful, you know. So when I went through that program, that's what I used to do. I used to go out for a walk. And I just started 10 minutes a day, just walk and just try to think hard. And I mean, things that you're really like, don't get me wrong. I am grateful for all the meals that I have. You know what I mean? It's not like saying grace, you know, for the basic things, but things that you're really, really grateful for. You know what I mean? Like think back, like what is your fondest childhood memory? Like, what do you remember? You know, like, did you have a favorite bike? Or, you know what I mean? That one year that all you wanted was that Nintendo. You know what I mean? You got that Nintendo and like you were up all night getting, you know, playing that Nintendo because you loved it. You know what I mean? Or I guess for Tyson and I, right? Like when our friend Ryan went to the mainland, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his last day in Hawaii, like he had all these things planned out. And I still remember that to this day.
Man. That was an epic adventure.
That
Like,
was an
oh my
epic
God.
day. He had everything planned out. He's like, hey, we're going to go here. We're going to go botanical gardens.
Yeah.
We're going to go on a hike.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go down and we're going to go to the tide pools.
Mhm.
We're going to go here. And like, dude, we did, you know what I mean? Like we ended up, we didn't even do all the things that he wanted.
No.
But we went hiking. We were eating like mountain apples and strawberry guava. And we went down.
Chasing the sunset.
Yeah, we were chasing the sunset, right? We're like going down Cayenne Point, like chasing so that we can catch it. You know what I mean? Like we went to my mail, like, dude, like there were so many things, and all we did all day was just talk about all the good times that we had. You know what I mean? And we laughed all day. Like
We had
those,
so much fun.
you know, but like those are the moments. Like when you wake up in the morning, try to remember those kinds of things. You'd be surprised that like one good thing leads to another. It's like, oh, I remember this time in my, oh, that reminds me of another time. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that reminds me of our friend Brian. Like, oh, dude, remember all the time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and just those kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know, for those of you that are married out there, like, you know, your wedding day, like, remember something that happened on your wedding day that was so awesome that, you know what I mean? Those things that bring you to tears. Like, you were so happy that you cried, or you cried because you were laughing so hard. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things. Like, those are the moments that's going to get you through life. Like if you think about that on a regular basis, first thing when you wake up in the morning, like that can change your mindset. Again, just increase by 1%, you know?
And, I mean, you'll be surprised the type of, you know, state you set yourself in, the new vibration and stuff you'll put your body into. You know, things will start to naturally just change around you because you're going to be like, you know, I'm just so grateful to be alive, to have woken up and all these things that you went through. You're just going to look and like, you know what, this job, you know, like, yeah, okay, it sucks, but you know, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
You know, and then
1% improvement. There you go.
That's the thing. If you wake up in the morning looking for all the grateful things, guess what happens when you go to your job?
You find more.
You can be like, hey, you know what? I never really noticed that. You know, that receptionist girl, like, she's actually a really positive person. Like, I never noticed that before.
Yeah. Or even, you know, that thing I've been complaining about, you know what? I think I know how I can fix this.
Right. And it's like, you know, you start to change that. And like, the more you can repeat that process, the better your life is going to be. Yeah. You know? And the same thing with exercise. You know, that's the whole reason, you know, for the program that I went through, Tony Robbins, like, you walk. You know what I mean? Right. Anybody can walk. Well, I didn't say anybody. Sorry for those of you out there in a wheelchair. Right? But literally, like, anybody can do something simple. Like, it doesn't have to be out there like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to run 10 miles. Like, no, make it like, start slow. Start at an easy pace. Make it something that you can do. Like the other day at work, I was telling people, I was like, look, it's easy to go from working out 0 days a week to working out 1 day a week. Like, anybody can do that.
Yeah, it's easy to floss your front 2 teeth.
You know, yeah, that's it. Hey, it's funny, dude. It's actually, that's how you teach them, right? Like, you start small, you start slow, and you make it fun. Yeah. You know, if you don't like to walk, maybe you like to do yoga. Maybe you like to meditate. Yeah. You know, there's just different things that you can do. And again, if you're going to do yoga, don't get there in that sauna room and at 100 degrees, like, start stretching out. Like, you know, just start with something that's small or whatever. I remember, was that Teresa Porter, right? Like, she had a show with her. Yeah, like, she's got a lot of good quick tips.
Yes. We'll link some of that kind of starter stuff in the show notes for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We can do that. But, you know, whatever it's going to be, like, you know, make it fun. That's the idea.
Yeah. Start small, make it fun.
You know? And then even from there, like, the things about what you eat for breakfast.
Yes.
And talking about bad habits, like, what kind of foods do you put in your body?
Especially the very first thing when you wake up, that's a very critical time in your metabolic state. You know, your body's very susceptible to different sugars and things. And I've heard some things where if you had like a donut for breakfast, your body cannot recover from that until the next morning when you wake up, when it's fully reset itself. And that's another opportunity to start fresh again.
Yeah, something about that. Like, you definitely have certain blasts of chemical receptors that happen. Again, we are creatures of habit. Right. Your body puts out these chemicals in a cycle on purpose. So you got to use that to your advantage for sure.
So you gotta, watch what you put in your mouth the very first thing when you wake up. You should, I would recommend, getting a nice glass of water. Some people say a little, little pink salt and some lemon juice, whatever works for you.
Electrolytes.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of different schools of thoughts, but I mean, to me, the first thing you should be waking up and at least get a cup of water down, not a cup of Diet Coke, God forbid, or Dr. Pepper or something like that. Shouldn't be the first thing you stick down your throat.
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure. But I mean, just, again, getting back to the whole habit things.
Yes.
You just be aware of what you're like. How much times do you eat McDonald's? Like,
right.
What I mean? Like, that was something I noticed in my son the first time. Is like, he was 2 years old and he knew what McDonald's was already.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like I suck as a parent. Like,
they call it McDonald's or something he used to call it. I forget.
Yeah, whatever. But I was like, dude, he's 2 years old and he already knows what McDonald's is.
Yeah, we'll be driving and he's McDonald's. Like, oh.
Yeah, like say it. I was like, oh, I failed as a parent. Like,
yes.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Epic fail. That's okay. 1% more, better tomorrow, bud.
But you know what I'm saying though is like, you are what you constantly eat. Like, how much times do you eat out?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you live a lifestyle where you can't change that, but you can change the places you eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Amazon just bought Whole Foods. Like, they have whole food meals already prepped out, and they're a lot cheaper than they were last year. That's for sure.
They are. And you can have those stuff delivered same day, next day.
Oh, yeah, dude. Uber. They got Uber, man. Uber
well, even Amazon Prime, they'll deliver fresh produce. A lot of these grocery stores will deliver it right to your house.
It depends. Hawaii, that's
well,
not,
maybe not Hawaii, but
depending
here in Phoenix.
You live.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Where you live. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that are easy to change. Like, again, you can just change one of them. I'm not saying never eat McDonald's again. I'm just saying you eat McDonald's 7 days a week. Just try to eat it only 6 days a week.
Or even maybe get a small fry in a water.
Yeah.
Just a small change,
Right. Yeah. Don't cut everything out, but you can at least order water instead of soda or diet soda, and some people,
iced tea.
I'm not going to get there with the diet soda thing. I mean, if you're going from regular soda to diet soda, it is a slight improvement, but in general, let's be real about the situation.
You're better off drinking the regular soda.
Diet soda is not any better for you than regular soda. Like,
there's even some studies that say it's actually worse for you.
Yeah, there are some studies out there. Again, I am in the healthcare profession, but I'm not a doctor. I'm just check your facts. Go out there and look for, look on scholarly Google. Don't look on regular Google. Look for what is it?
Go to PubMed.
Yeah, PubMed. Like, look for articles that are legit, like written by doctors who have done studies, right?
Not bro science.
Use medical evidence, right, to follow those procedures.
And understand causation and correlation are not the same thing.
So, and just in all of that kinds of things, you just definitely, just make small improvements here and there. Or another thing is, you know what I mean? McDonald's is made up of a burger with a bun and French fries. Like, just take the top bun off. You know what I mean? Just lower your carbs. Take the top bun off, or cut out the soda, or if you, again, make small things.
Yeah.
Once you get used to the top of your bun being off and start eating it that way, then we can skip on the soda. You know what I mean? Other
fries
I don't know if they have it in all McDonald's, but another thing you can do if you need the bubbles, like, switch to carbonated water.
Yeah.
Carbonated water is a lot better for you than diet soda. That I can tell you that, guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you still get that same fun sensation of drinking a soda. I like to drink.
The taste is not as good. I'm not going to lie.
No, but I like to drink kombucha and stuff. It's for that same kind of feeling. They have these root beer and Dr. Pepper flavored kombuchas. Gives you that fun, like you're having a soda, but you're having a healthy drink.
Yeah, but that all just comes down just making small improvements.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things work wonders.
Yes.
And definitely, I know we went on food a little bit, but just to get back to exercise, again, some of you don't like to walk, some of you don't like to run, some of you don't like to do yoga. One of the other things I like to do, because I live in Hawaii, is I go to the beach, man.
Yeah.
I just jump in the water. That water is so cold at 6 a.m. It's like, whew, just like, that wakes you up like instantly.
That's another good habit you could try and form is, taking a cold shower. There's a lot of good health benefits to that. Or, some people get a little hardcore and they get these ice baths. They have these like cold plunges outside or whatever in their garage or in their yards. I mean, I like to hear our community pool. They don't heat in the wintertime. I go in there and I take a nice little cold plunge. Man, your feet will be cold the rest of the day, but it feels good and it's nice. It's good for your body. There's a lot of good health benefits if you don't want to look that up. But even just, when I shower, I like to brush my teeth in the shower. And when it's time to brush my teeth, I turn the water to cold and I brush my teeth and I stand under the cold water and I get all those, nice little things that happen with cold water.
And I was reading somewhere, I forget where I read it, but that actually like in some places that they used to make their children take cold showers. And, like people thought that it was like cruelty or whatever. He's like, no, we're teaching them to be brave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do that with my son. I taught him how to take a cold shower. But it's nice think about what happens when you get hit with cold water.
Yeah,
you can
stimulates your
right. But what happens is you can train yourself to not have that visceral reaction.
Yeah. But so it's pretty hard to fight though. That's sympathetic.
It is.
Pathological response. Like it hits you pretty quick, man.
But it takes time. It's just like we're talking about these habits. You start with a little colder and a little colder and a little colder, and
don't just jump in ice bath.
Please don't do dumb shit like consult the professionals and take your time. And like we're saying in all of these things, little changes. Take the shower down to it's like. And then get used to that and just get your breath. Wim Hof has got a great course on that. I took the course and then I taught my, he's 7 now, but we've been doing it since I think he was 5. And that's the thing. Same thing. He started off and we nicknamed it lava as another little mind trick.
Oh, there you go.
It's lava time. It's like, boom. We know the water's coming cold, but we're telling ourselves, no, it's hot. It's coming out hot. And it's like, okay, now breathe. Just, I teach them to breathe. I had to teach myself, and then now I'm able to pass that habit on to the next.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of physiological effects of breathing, man.
There's tons of things.
Yeah, breathing right and all that kind of stuff. But, again, these are just, small steps.
Yes.
Things you can do. You don't have to do every single one of these.
No.
Okay, these are just ideas. If you have new ideas out there, put them up in the comments section.
Definitely. Yeah, please.
I tried this and this works too. Like, you know what I mean? There's people watching that you can help out there too.
Yeah, I'm always looking for some type of improvement. I mean, if you're doing some of these, try a new one. If you're not, pick one and try it out.
Yeah. And, and then we kind of hit everything, right? We're talking about health. We're talking about, talking a little bit about wealth. Same thing on what you spend your money on. You know what I mean? You just kind of slowly change that over time. Are you out there buying these nice cars, buying these nice bags? I mean, they're great for the short term.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the first quarter, don't worry about it. But those people are hitting the second and third quarter. Like you gotta kind of just, again, if you get 1,000, or maybe 1,000 is too much, but if you got $300 of extra spending money every month, you know what I mean? Just take take a third of that. Yeah. Maybe take $100 and put that towards something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then just to change mindsets, again, for me, starting with my son too, for his birthday this year, I bought him shares of Snapchat.
I love that. That's amazing.
It's just a different mindset.
Yep.
I mean, technically I think I bought them at $12.75, whatever the price was.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're trading it. Hey Google, what's the Snapchat stock price?
As of 7:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today, Snap is trading at $13.04 per share after hours.
See, $13.04.
Yeah, there you go. You made a few bucks. But how fun is that when he goes to school? He's like, "Hey guys, I'm a shareholder."
I mean, but again, I'm not saying that that investment was like $20 plus $5 commission, whatever, $130.
Right.
I mean, I got $300 to spend this month. Like, just you don't have to do it every month. Just again, make a small change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was a yearly thing.
Yeah. And it's like whatever the case might be, you gotta get your mind set up. You gotta make the rules, set them up till you win, and put the odds in your favor.
Yep.
And since we're going on all these Yeah, well, since we're going on all the pillars of life, right? Health, wealth, and the pursuit of happiness, like for anything that's out there, like even in your love life.
Yeah.
Mhm. Like on the weekends, what are you doing to go look for that person? You going to the bars?
Yeah.
To find your soulmate, the person you're gonna marry?
I mean, not statistically probable, but hey.
I mean, if you are a alcoholic or you're a social person and that's what you do, I mean, yeah, you can meet somebody that goes to the bar all the time if that's that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Sure. But I mean, odds are that that's not what you're trying to do for the rest of your life. I mean, you can do that in your T's, but when you get to your F's, your 40s and your 50s, you probably might not be doing that. I don't
It's
know.
a lot harder to pop bottles when you're in your 30s, I'll tell you right now.
But I'm just saying, though, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if you've been going to the bars to find the love of your life, you've been doing that for how long?
Right. How's that working out for you?
Couple years? Like, how long have you been trying to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should change that approach. You know what I'm saying?
Something's not working. Maybe try the opposite.
Same thing. I mean, again, not everybody's looking for love. If you're looking just to hook up or whatever, right?
Whatever you do.
Hook up, you're not hooking up that way. Maybe you should kind of change something. We got all this social media out there, right? You got all these things like Tinder. I mean, that's not your thing. They got Plenty of Fish. They got Match.com. For those of you that want that marriage partner, they got a Christian Mingle. I think all these different things that you can do.
Yeah.
To give you exposure to different types of people, and they even have systems where if you put your hobbies in there, like they'll match you up with somebody else who's got similar hobbies with you. It's like you can see what they do. You can see their picture. Well, hopefully their pictures.
Somebody's picture.
Most of the time they look better in their pictures, but I mean, if you're looking for a life partner, again, like we talked about at the beginning, where don't have that unrealistic goal that you're going to marry the most beautiful woman in the world. I mean, because beauty is only one aspect of that. Like, yeah, she's going to be pretty, but she's just going to be a horrible person that you don't mesh with. I mean, not horrible as in like she's a monster. I mean, there's horrible and like you don't match. Like, you know what I mean? I play video games and she likes to go out and go dancing. Like, that's probably not going to work as a life partner for us together. You know what I mean? Just got to think about that kind of stuff. But yeah.
You do.
But these are some of the things that, you just, whatever, you have to notice what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
For whatever reason, you got to notice, like, are these habits that I created for myself? Or was this just something that, you know what I mean? Like, frick, yeah, my friends and I used to go out to bars and then occasionally we would meet chicks. So that's how that got into my mind. It's like, that wasn't a habit that you created on your own. You didn't get down with a pen and paper and be like, let's think of the best way to meet chicks. Go to bars. Number one answer. Like, I mean, like, that was that Family Feud. Places.
The number one answer is.
Yeah, like you didn't really think about that. You just something that happened. Same thing with when you wake up every morning. The alarm goes off. And you're like, oh man, I gotta go to work today. Like, you didn't think of that habit. That's not the number one habit for success in your life.
Surely not what you set out for at 12 years old, right?
Exactly. That's just something that happened over time. I mean, maybe none of you have done the math that you actually hate 72% of your life.
Yeah.
So,
or some their percentage of, yeah.
You got to think about that.
Yeah, I understand. Most of our behaviors, habitual things, and you gotta, what habits are serving you, what habits aren't serving you.
Right.
And the ones that aren't serving you, you've got to pluck out one, you've got to put in another one.
Yeah. And again, this all comes back to, we are creatures of habit. You can't just say, I'm going to stop doing a habit. Like, you know what I mean? Any of you try to quit smoking, like, you know how that goes.
Yeah. You have to, that's why generally people gain weight, because they start eating or something to fixate that.
Or, you know what I mean? If you're in a toxic relationship and you try to break up with your girlfriend instantaneously, like, chances are you're probably going to call her in the next week. Because why? Not because you want to talk to her. It's just because that's what you've been doing for the 5 years you've been with her. You wake up in the morning, you call her, because that's just what you're used to doing.
Right.
Not saying that you're going to go back to her. That's just a habit in your life.
Yes.
You got to find a way to break those cycles. You got to find a way to, break those, call them pattern interrupts or whatever have you. For me, whenever I have a bad day, I like to watch this guy. He's called Divine Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that link in there too, man.
There you
But
go.
that guy, he's just so full of
Infinite Waters on Instagram.
Yeah. And it's just like he's Infinite Waters on Instagram. On YouTube, he's Divine.
Right.
But yeah, same thing. Is like he does all of these things and he has like these pattern interrupts on his show. He's like, slow motion to the side. He's like, ooh.
Yeah, I like this guy. You turned me on to him. He's pretty good. I like it. Was that can I breathe in that good product? It's like, I love it. It's like, yeah, that's what's up.
But like if you watch his show, like I think the reason part of it he's so successful. I mean, number one, he's got good material.
Yes.
Seems like a positive person, but like he just has these pattern interrupts on his show.
Yeah.
That what I mean, like they break through any type of mental barrier you have for some reason. Like you just kind of get broken out of your cycle. Another thing too, when you're talking about habits and trying to start new habits, is you got to think about resistance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to know yourself as a person. Like we're talking about doing exercise in the morning, right? Like you got to find the exercise that you are going to be the least resistant to do. You know what I mean? Like, let's get real. Like if I told you, okay, when you wake up tomorrow morning, this is what I want you to do. I want you to run 10 miles. Now you got to run 10 miles. You got to run 10 miles in 30 minutes. Like,
right.
Like, whoa. Like, you're going to fail on that.
Fuck you.
I don't even think it's humanly possible,
Secondly, yeah, but I mean, like we were saying earlier, make it fun. I mean, exercise doesn't have to be this cookie cutter, go to the gym, do X workout, do Y things. Go play basketball. Go stand up paddleboard. Go surfing. Go bike riding. Go whatever. There's so many things that you can do to move.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like go hiking. Like there's so many things. Like do something that you absolutely love doing and that you're going to have the least amount of resistance doing.
You know what? If you're looking for some ideas, go on Groupon. Look at the activities and stuff they have there. See what's out there in your neighborhood. Something get out there and try something. Yeah. See what's new. Do some acro yoga. You're in Phoenix area, come see me, Do some acro, have some fun.
And the same thing, about breaking the cycle and resistance is like, you got to be careful if you're trying to quit smoking, you're trying to quit drinking. Like you got to know what people, if you hang around, you're going to have that tendency to get back into that old habit.
Yep. That's when I had to do that too. I was going out a lot and drinking a lot. And I was like, I got to stop this. I just had to stop cold turkey kind of hanging out with those people. I was like, because if I hang out with you guys, I'm going to be tempted to drink. It's just kind of part of my nature. I like that social thing, have a couple of drinks and, you got to kind of stop that.
You know what I mean? And then just do it until you're strong enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't test yourself and don't put yourself in a position to like go hang out with them so you can break your new pattern that you created. But once you get strong enough to where you can't, you can be in their presence and not smoke and not drink.
Yeah.
Then do it. I mean, you can still, again, we have all this social media. You can talk to them over the phone. And hang out with them in social media, all those kinds of things. You know what I mean?
Or hang out with them in an environment that is not where you typically would drink.
Yeah. Or get them to come on your train. Be like, hey, I'm starting this thing, not drinking. Why don't you do it too?
It's a not drinking challenge.
Yeah. Let's go find something that we can do together that we're not going to drink.
Right.
Like you can be the positive influence on that person.
Absolutely.
You can do all these kinds of things. Again, this is all about breaking old habits and replacing them with something new, right? And this new habit is going to benefit you and be put into your cycle. It's like if that means changing the friends, right? That's the easiest way to change things. Is change the 5 people you hang around with on a regular basis.
Right.
If you can't change them as a person because they don't want to change, then just go, find a new person, find a new mentor, whatever you want to do.
Go find a new group, find a meetup. Maybe somebody at work or something, or other things, or out to the park or whatever. I mean, who knows? Where you meet people all over the place nowadays.
Again, they got YouTube channels, they got IG channels. Like again, all of that stuff. Like watch the negativity that comes in through those social media aspects. Yeah,
that's the thing too. If you can get onto Instagram or whatever, if you're following positive people that are doing positive things that you want to be doing, it's easy to follow those people and get all the other negative shit off your feed. And when you open it up, that's all you're going to see. You're going to be around them.
I mean, when I was younger, I definitely was a lot more of a spiritual and religious person, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here promoting religion of any kind, but at the same time, like going to church.
Yeah, or whatever spiritual practice you want to go with.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Like, go back to that, you know, thing where you're going to be around different people, you know, who are doing different things. You know what I mean? Instead of Saturday night going out to drink, they're going to church on Sunday morning. Like, that's a different pattern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're taking one away and you're putting that into something else. It's going to be a positive influence in your life.
Right, exactly. And you're going to meet a bunch of people there, and you're going to be able to have a new group and a new set of friends to hang out with.
Yeah, definitely. And then one of the other things too that I just kind of want to get on, this is for people who work in pairs. You know what I mean? Like, if you and your buddy are going out, or you and your spouse are trying to change things, like, you know, reward them for good behavior.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you and your spouse, like, you guys are going through a rough time, whatever that is, and you know what I mean? You already hate 72% of your life. So when you come home from that work day, especially in the middle of the week, you know what I mean? You're bringing all that negativity home from work and you're just pushing it on your spouse. Like, stop that. You know, try to stop that. And then if you are the spouse and you notice, you know, that your wife or husband's coming home, and, you know, that one day that they actually, you know, they come in there, you know, honey, I really don't want to talk about work today. It was just a bad day. You know, let's talk about something fun. Like, what did you do? Like, support them. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and tell them all the negative crap that happened in your day.
Right.
They're trying to make a positive change. Like, tell them about something good. Like, build their spirit up. Like, this is a team effort. Like, you guys got to work together. Yeah,
especially if you come home from work, you walk in the house, and your kids or your spouse or your dog, whatever, is so excited to see you. If the very first thing you do is just strike that down, guess what you've just done? You just got rid of that good habit they had. That pleasant to see you, nice to see you, boom, that's going to be gone. The more you do it, it's just going to go away, and they're going to think. Then you're going to start teaching these other people that, well, this is how it's going to be. This is now going to be your habit. You're teaching them. You know, that when people greet you, just shut them down. Just stop it right there. Don't do it. You got to be careful what you're doing.
Yeah, and then again goes the other way too. If you see good behavior and you got to reward that.
Yeah, you want more of it, reward it.
Yeah, keep people incentive. Like, hey, you know, I actually like the fact that you brought that conversation on, man. That was nice, dude. I needed that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And if you're gonna walk in the house, you feel like, you know, man, it's been a really shitty 272 for me. Like, you know, start to recognize that and say, you know what? I'm gonna sit in the car for a second before I get out of the garage, you know, out of the car. I'm gonna catch my breath, and I'm gonna walk in this house, and I'm not gonna bring this baggage with me. I'm not going to bring it in the house. I'm not going to take down the mood of the dog or the kids or the spouse.
Inside there, that's where my 28% is, and I'm trying to make that 28% 30 or 40.
I'm going to leave the 72 in the car, and I'm going to go into that 28. And tomorrow it's only going to be 70% I'm going to leave in this car. And it's going to keep going the other way.
And keep adding on, man. Keep increasing the percentage that you enjoy your life.
Yep.
Rather than the percentage that you actually can't stand it. Yeah. So that's good, man. I think
sums up definitely everything we were trying to talk about, daily habits. I like we were saying earlier, I really like that. You know, if you guys have some things we haven't talked about, share with us. I'm always looking for new good habits and things to try.
Definitely. We got a comment section. You guys want to comment and help each other out. Again, this is a place to bring awareness, and we want to try to help build a community where everybody can help each other out and be a positive influence on people.
Yeah, we have on our Facebook page, we have a discussion group where you guys can get in there and help each other, especially those of you that need accountability and looking for accountability. You know, you need somebody to help you along with these habits. Don't be ashamed. Don't think you can't do this. You know, there's a lot of people out there. It doesn't have to be in person, but if it is, it's great. If not, reach out to the community, reach out to us, and, you know, help each other on your journey to creating better habits for yourselves.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we got the giveaways for this month. I know you were excited about last month's giveaway, dude.
Oh man, it was so amazing. I reached out to Jordan Peterson and his team. I reached out to Gary V and his team. I didn't hear back from Gary V and his team, but I understand these people are really busy. But I did hear back from Jordan Peterson and his team, and they sent me a signed copy of his book to give away.
Yeah,
I was
that's awesome.
oh,
Yeah.
and that goes back. You know, you've got to ask for these things. You got to take these leaps of faith, and you got to, you know, I spent a lot of time hitting these guys up on social media. I wound up finding an email address for somebody, and they got back to me, and they, you know, they told me, you know, I don't know if I can do this. You know, he's out on book tour, but I'll see what I can do. And I opened the mailbox a few days ago, and man, I was like, is this a book? I was like,
Oh,
I opened it up, and I was so excited. I was on like this probably like 36-hour high. It was so great. But it goes to show you guys, when you ask for things and you put good things out in the world, you know, it's gonna come back. Today I went to go get coffee at, you know, and I forgot my wallet, and I was like, and I told the lady, I was like, you know, I don't have my wallet. Can I use my phone? She said, oh, we don't take that. I was like, well, I'm sorry. She said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. It's on us. And I was like, man, that's awesome. Like,
but I know, man. I'm just saying for that giveaway, I think that person would be stoked. Did they actually?
oh man,
of that
I'm excited for you. Like,
Yeah.
My mom was like, she got, too bad you only got one copy. Like, there's none for you. I was like, that wasn't the point. The point was to give it to somebody else. I'm just as happy
Yeah.
to give it out to somebody. So great. But for July,
Yeah.
you know, I went and tracked down this deal. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to give one person out there, one credit for Audible, for 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on me. You're going to get one book a month with one credit from Audible, and you know, that's on me.
Yeah. Nice.
So, you know, enter to win. Go to the socialcommunion.show/giveaway and enter to win this Audible book giveaway.
Great. Okay, we got some books here.
Yeah, some books on habits, like very hyper focused on habits. I mean, a lot of books talk about a lot of habit type behavior and habit type forming things, but 2 books I really like on the topic of habits is Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Grazia. He's a great guy. He's a trusted advisor of Tony Robbins. If you don't know who he is, he does a lot of real estate stuff, motivational speaking, and different things like that. He's got a few books out there. And then also High Performance Habits by Brandon Bouchard. I think he interviewed a bunch of CEOs, and he kind of distilled down their high performance habits that make them and keep them successful.
Okay.
In the book. This week's challenge.
All right.
I want you guys to pick one. No more than 2 things you want to change.
Yeah.
And start right now. Start working on your 1%. Today. When is now a good time?
Yeah.
Now, and you got to give it a fair shot. It generally takes, they say, 14 days to start making a habit. So give it that 14 days. Don't bullshit yourself. You ain't going to fool us. We don't care. So it's you. It's for your life, your livelihood. It's for your health, your wealth, your happiness, and your state of mind.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to get out there and make those percentages better. You know, you want to make more of your life a lot better for you. Start now. And then with that and final thoughts, you know, just understand that we are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. Almost all of our behavior is habitual. So make sure that the habits that you have are serving you, right? Giving you that better life, giving you better health, right? Giving you a better social network. And with that, those are closing thoughts. Better your life.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, head over to Facebook, get in the discussion group, discuss this episode and all previous episodes and future episodes. Check us out on Patreon if you want to help support the show, supporting you, supporting yourself. You can by supporting the show. In between shows, you can check us out on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at The Social Chameleon Show. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Share this with somebody that you think can help them. You know, we all can improve 1%. If you can share this and help your neighbor improve 1%, we can really make this world a lot better place. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, you guys can like, share, and subscribe. Leaving a review really does help us find more people just amazing like you. And for past episodes and links to everything we talk about, please visit the socialcommunion.show. And until next time, keep learning, growing, and transforming into the person you want to become.